자, 신문 스크랩한 것들을 잠시 무작위로 한번 읽어보겠습니다. Don't say it ever. 8 phrases therapists advise you not to use when fighting with a partner. It was a sentence my friend told me that she heard almost every week. Last week, veiled comments started to emerge on Capitol Hill regarding an unnamed and serious national security threat. Now that we know what Russia is planning, the U.S. cannot afford to be slow to act. Could this be a Sputnik moment? Something as simple as moving your wine glasses to the back of the cupboard can create just enough friction to help you achieve your goal of abstaining. Artists have little to fear from AI. And major news companies, including the Times, are weighing steps to guard the intellectual property that flows from their journalism. The allegations in this complaint are simply not true, said Jay, a spokesperson. A spokesperson for YouTube parent Google, who said by email that the company had collaborated with youth mental health and parenting experts. To get clarity on how or where I may have gone wrong, I asked a few experts for advice. Maybe the Galliano Führer had something to do with our fears about creativity. There has been catharsis. There has been catharsis in seeing citizens challenge the institution that many people have humiliated them. Catharsis. Ingredient in many cold medicine is ineffective. A popular decongestant is necessarily harmful, but there are alternatives. doctors, government must start talking. The government has announced the results of its proposed 2,000-person increase in the enrollment quota for medical schools. Judges facing Trump case draws attention. Some legal experts said the judge's conduct was an indication of inexperience and the ability of lawyers to exploit it. Honestly, I think if I really felt cool, she said, I would probably be a giant asshole. Giant. Immediate of online communities that have flourished over the past 2 decades, thanks to the world-class breadth and speed of Korea's internet connection, have served as bonding and breeding grounds for people of similar political beliefs. That have flourished over the past 2 decades, thanks to the world-class breadth and speed of Korea's internet connection. Should I divorce again or stay in toxic relationship? the fitness myths that drive experts crazy. They can be difficult to dispel, but you should probably ignore them. For the most effective preparation to work out, try a dynamic warm-up, a series of active exercises that get your blood flowing and gently stress your muscles. Focusing philanthropy will also pay the credit card transaction cost, so 100 cents on the dollar goes to the charity you choose. Defunct. Developing countries sourcing on multilateralism. International integration is particularly important for smaller economies. A rail renaissance is on the way in Europe, with the demand for trains strong. Governments and investors try to keep up. The hazardous family dinners. I was pregnant at one family gathering and got very sick afterward, and there is reason to believe that our child's long-term health problems are a result of that illness I caught. Razzle dazzle. And while we are dreaming still from Apple's playbook of a split-second timed endlessly profitable keynote, not by turning every policy into a product, but by letting more than one person speak. Razzle dazzle. Last week, the government repeatedly asked junior doctors who had worked off the job to return to work by Thursday. These questions about the slaughter follow vociferous debate about the way factory farms keep souls for much of their lives locked inside the narrow gestation creates, unable even to turn around. anticipating the state of the union. Who will surprise us? Who will cause trouble? And who will buy what Joe Biden is selling? This is especially true for children. Remember what Spotify did to the music industry. Books could be the next. I would have been holed up in my apartment for 3 days, wondering if I'd ever make a shot again. Kay said of his younger self. In our focus on protecting the present and the future from artificial intelligence, we have neglected the urgent need to protect the history. This focus is based on history. Though peace revolt was crushed, and they died 2 months later in a mysterious plane crash. Putin would have wanted to quickly remind Xi that he was in control. Ms. S said that enabling the texting technology would also allow users to see whether someone is typing and whether their messages had been received. It's basically left to the U.S. to decide whether to send the shells it received from South Korea to Ukraine. Marrying the wrong person is okay. I want to normalize significant periods of trouble in marriage. Our readers keep their fingers on the pulse of Korean current affairs with the insight they gain from these pages. AI literacy, AI literacy, Odyssey in need of campus. The fundamentals of using AI tools should not be left to the chance. Be responsible and nurture meaningful relationship to avoid an argument. Laboratory workers are constantly carrying sloshing shoebox-sized containers filled with liquid nitrogen. Sloshing. An onslaught of vitriol from Trump backers. His last Republican rival, Nikki Haley, is target of a barrage of political hate, vitriol. The one way to roast every vegetable. Memorize this method for simple, crisp, yet tender dishes to make the all year. Crisp. It pains me to see sanctimonious public prayer in any circumstances. There may be no one around you, and the forest will speak to you in the way it will speak to an animal, and that changes you. Founded in 1955 by a group of writers and editors that included Norman Mailer. The Voice was intended to be a newspaper for downtown, defined as below 14th Street in Manhattan. A Hanukkah pastry contains plenty of history. This flaky cheese pie is a holiday staple for the Elephant Jewish diaspora. Flaky. In the past, the West could get their own place by themselves, But this is near impossible nowadays. Such condition increased the social value of financial asset, intensifying materialism and the consumption. Newlyweds. Yeah, breakout. It turned so dreary that were afraid of fire would break out. Kick in. Sprinklers will kick in. It took a while for the medicine to kick in. The new law wouldn't kick in until next month. Kick in. Aid groups say only a fraction. Only a fraction of the supplies required to meet the basic humanitarian need have been allowed into Gaza since October, when Israel placed it under near total siege. How not to become a soft law guy. The soft law guy behavior he mentioned often appears among people over the age of 40 engaged in mid-level management. Although Japanese people are armed with manners and kindness, I'm sometimes surprised at the looselessness when I see newly coined words. In the mid-2000s, Japanese called the childless single women in the 30s makeinu, meaning a dog who lost a fight. The latest keyword is rogai, which literally means the harm of being old. The online definition, the act of the elderly causing trouble for young people without realizing their oldness, or the person who committed the act. The characteristic is embodied by pushing one's own opinion with a condescending gaze. It is similar to the Korean word gonde, but the Japanese term is far more merciless, lacking humor. All this even though I was not there. It feels like crying at a funeral for a person I didn't even know. I wonder if I have a right to grieve. Deep-rooted paranoias. Both the finance minister and the central bank chief maintain that it is premature to talk about changing the economic policy stance, pointing to still uncertain prospects for inflation. Premature. Famous people just don't know how to say I'm sorry. The important word isn't I. It's apologize. It's apologize. Bitcoin hit new record high above 100 million won in Korea. The kimchi premium reporting to the price discrepancy in cryptocurrency between Korean and the international markets stood at over 7%, meaning that Bitcoin was trading at a price nearly 7% higher in Korea than the global average. Question of immunity looms large for Trump. 3 years after Capitol riot, time is a crucial factor as judges hear arguments. Should Mr. Trump be elected, he could seek to order the federal charges against him to be dropped. Switch to a flip phone to cut screen time. She turned to an old model to cut back on screen time. Switching to a flip phone proved inconvenient, but also was the tech reset. This time of year, everyone asks when you like least about your life, but they praise it as what's your New Year's resolution. This time of year, everyone asks when you like least about your life. The museum, which had pledged to repatriate all the skulls in the Morton collection, formed the committee to arrange for the burial of this and 6 more craniums that also appeared to be from Black Philadelphians. Craniums. Fani Willis' prosecution of Trump may be alive. A prosecution revolving around an infamous Trump soundbite. I just need 11,780 votes. Is now tainted by an order of Mendesti. Yeah, Mr. M was one of the people she contacted early. She contacted early on when she was forming the idea of what a brand might be. I don't know why there has to be such a beginning and an end in our industry. I don't know why it can't just be continuous. Yeah, Maori, deeply shaken by the changes, have taken to the street. He also reaffirmed his commitment to working with Mr. A. Kay says the solo car camping experience appears more to her compared with group camping because she can map out her own trip rather than spending most of the time trying to reach a consensus with others. Reach a consensus with others. Texas challenge to school drive, movement to shift funding to private education runs into hostility in rural areas. Some U.S. universities want affirmative action. A brief filed last year by Ken, the Texas Attorney General, also take the side of students for fair admission, arguing against race-conscious admissions, even though the University of Texas uses a form of them. Grip can be rushed. I hope your observation and advice help others know they are not alone in their grip. They are not alone in their grip, and they should never feel pressured to ignore their feelings. Hanks and Spielberg had a specific storyline in mind to be chiseled from Miller's book. In an article for Nature in 2021, Catherine, an environmental activist and the founder of the Center for Rural Enterprise and Environmental Justice, wrote about watching Hurricane Ida follow the same damaging path as Katrina in Louisiana. As I watched Hurricane Ida closer in, I prayed for the people and homes I'd visited in the parishes of St. James and St. John the Baptist, where people who already have the country's highest cancer and COVID-19 rates now had to worry about losing their homes to storms made worse by climate change. An original poster from 2001, A Space at the Odyssey, now hangs in our bedroom. Global warming is leading to more reptile runs in That's good news for some. Reptile runs, run in, run in. Just as important to many yacht owners, brokers have to provide anonymity, often acting as owners' representatives. Maybe something like hold up on that, hold up on that airstrike into the suspected terrorist hideout while we hit them first with the backs of wheat hideout. The right to the intellectual framework for effective diversity work is the pluralism. John Adams, John Quincy's father and George Washington's vice president, ran for the presidency twice against Thomas Jefferson in bitter contest. She seemingly defined the term jet setter, bouncing between homes in Rome, Paris, London, and Madrid. Jet setter. Euthanasia takes the center stage with the beer. The theatrical play is one of several works addressing the issue. Euthanasia. Takes center stage.